Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, this just doesn't work. Sorry, I've been actually a little bit busy this morning. Got to do some stuff here at the house. Turns out I've got a floor joist that's literally been eaten up over the years by termites and had a soft spot, so we've had to take up the carpet and take up the subflooring and get that worked on. So kind of have to take care of that because I really don't want to fall through the floor. But as I was drinking some coffee this morning, I was looking at an article on Bleacher Report, and they were talking about the Cowboys should trade Dez Bryant. Now, that sounds great in theory, but, we said the same thing about trading Tony Romo. We said the same thing about, trading DeMarcus Ware. The reality is teams are just going to go ahead and just wait you out. Very rarely are you going to have a team that's going to go ahead and say, oh, let me give you a boatload of picks for a guy. Think about it. Tony Romo got released and didn't get signed. We had looked at trying to do something with the Texans and Denver, but nothing happened. DeMarcus Ware, the same thing. The problem is his contract is not team friendly. It's $16.5 million cap hit. He's already stated with the Cowboys that, hey, I'm not taking a pay cut. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't either. Football is a tough sport. It's brutal. And you got to make every bit that you can because in the end, you can have a fantastic season, but the team's not going to say, well, here's a bonus. We're going to give you an extra $10 million because you just broke all the records. They're not. So why should you give money back? But on the flip side of this, what you got to understand with football is you have to take your heart out of it. Because in the end, it is business, strictly business. And when you overpay one person, that means that you have to sacrifice some other players. And the problem for our Cowboys this year wasn't a lack of having good players. We had some of the best frontline players there were. But the problem was depth. We did not have guys that were able to fill in when other guys got hurt or didn't perform. We have to bargain basement shop when it comes to free agency. That's where we get the DeMontre Moores, the Cedric Thorntons, the Nolan Carrolls. We just don't have the money to go around to field players from 20 to 40. That are good quality players. Because when you have a $16.5 million hit for one guy who's not producing, then you got problems. Let's look at the numbers. For 2017, Dez Bryant, the season was definitely one of his worst. 16 games, played the full season, although he says he had tendonitis as well as other nagging injuries and stuff. He had 69 catches for 839 yards with only a 12.1 yard per reception. Clearly, some of the lows in his career. And worst thing about it is he had over 10 drops. As far as catches goes, he ranked 24th in the NFL. Now, with the salary cap hit that he has, he is number 2 in salary. And again, take your emotions out. I'm not saying Dez Bryant can't play, because he can. I'm not saying that Dez Bryant might not play well next year, because he probably can if he's healthy. And the system is better suited for what he's doing. But if you look at him just by the numbers, 2016, last year, even though, he had 15.9 yards reception, the highest of his career, he still only had 50 catches and only played 13 of the games, which ended up being 84th in the league in number of receptions. So think about this, guys. You're talking about the second highest paid receiver in the NFL, 24th last year, 84th the year before. In 2015, we know Tony Romo wasn't there. Dez Bryant was hurt, missed 7 games, but still ended up with 31 receptions, 401 yards, 12.9 yards per reception, and was 142nd in receptions. Okay. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, yeah, he had Dak Prescott thrown to him. Dak is not a great quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. He's only 2 years in. That's part of the reason. 2015, you could say, well, he had nobody's throwing to him. Matt Castle. He had Brandon Wheaton throwing to him. Okay, I'll give you that. But in 2014, the best season of his career, let me say it again, best season of his career, Cowboys, great season, Tony Romo, best season of his career. He had 88 receptions for 1,320 yards. Fantastic. 15 yards of reception. Great numbers. But even with that season, where Tony Romo was perfect, he was still only 12th in receptions. So, take your heart out of it and go by the numbers. So when you take the last 4 years, only 2 of which were Dak Prescott, the best that he was 12th in the NFL in receptions. So the question you have to ask is $16.5 million next year, knowing you need to get a deal with DeMarcus Lawrence, knowing you have to get a deal with Zach Martin, knowing that you're going to need some extra help on the team more than what you can do from the draft. Do you say, Dez, here's $16.5 million and basically restructure other contracts or release other players to keep Dez? Or do you let Dez go, try and get another wide receiver out there? Because basically we're not talking about, Antonio Brown right now. Are there other receivers that you can pay for less, get a team-friendly deal to save some cap space, and have some money to pay some other players? Well, if you're looking at it strictly as a business, because that's what we're trying to run here, I'm sorry. Dez either has to take a pay cut or Dez has to go. And as far as trading, teams will wait you out. Somebody will sign him without a problem. But you're not going to see a trade like you're thinking, oh, we're going to get a second or a third round pick. You're not. You might get a 6th or 7th, if that. But teams are not going to be trying to take on that big salary cap. It's just the way it is. But then again, I could be completely wrong. Could be Dez Bryant is back with that same contract and has a stellar year. But if you strictly look at the numbers and try to make a judgment call with your head, it's a no-brainer. Well, I got some more work to do. Got Frankie upstairs laying some carpet and putting it back down, and got to put everything back. So as always, friends, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, this just doesn't work. And let me know, how'd you guys like the live stream last night with the television having Law Nation in here as well as John Gardner? I'm really excited about some of the things that we're going to be able to do with this new set. Still have some more work to do on it, but I will get it all together. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'm keeping it real, and I'll see you guys soon.